I used to blame everything on my sexuality, my relationships, why I didn't have friends, why I wasn't doing well in school, why I wasn't doing well in jobs. I would blame everything on my sexuality. And I learned at my old age of 25 that turns out I'm the problem. By the way, I got a new dog. His name is King. Don't go to the animal shelter when you're not feeling so good. But anyway, I wanted to make a quick life update. My sexuality, I, for the first time, feel confident that I'm gay. I wouldn't say 100%, no one's 100% gay, but a good 80%. There's something so hot about men. They're just so much sexier than women. And I'm really into like bisexual or like straight passing gay dudes. There's something so hot about like a bisexual man because yeah, you have the dude parts and they're like so sexy, but then you also have like his ass and you have that like feminine part, and there's just something so hot about having like both male and female parts. I just can't stop thinking about it. I'm kind of wanting to explore more like feminine men. There's something that turns me off though. Like, I don't really like men who think they're 100% gay. And I don't know why that is. I think it's because I don't want to say that or accept that I'm 100% gay. But I think it's super hot when a man like questions his sexuality. I like a man who's a little bit homophobic. That sounds terrible, but it's just something I'm into, you know? And I think I realized I was gay when I went out on a date and I didn't hook up with the dude. Even though that was my first time doing it, I had never felt so happy afterwards. Probably happier than after any hookup I've had, and I've never felt that deep empty hole inside like a day or two later. So when that happened, I was like, damn, that felt really, really good. There was something so hot about me saying no. I don't want to hook up. I want a serious relationship. I don't have to do something I don't want to do. So the reason I moved from LA is because I pretty much lost all of my savings and I was extremely stressed. I was trying to pursue a master's degree in computer science, and I don't have a background in computer science. So it was like super hard, super tough, took a lot of energy, stressed me out, right? But at the same time, I also wanted to do like photography. I also wanted to do acting, and I started doing those things. And combining that stress of moving to a big city, LA, a very, very big city, I was living in this shitty apartment for $2,100 with cockroaches. There was zero sunlight. I was below ground level, and there was a giant wall, and zero sunlight got into my apartment. So it was the most depressing thing ever. And then on top of that, I had a break-in where someone stole my big expensive camera, my laptops, and they also took apart some of the spicy things I used to make content with. They specifically ripped those things apart, and I put them at like the top of my closet, like not something you would see, and they were like specifically looking at them and like tearing them apart. The police did absolutely nothing. They came by, did a report, and I've never heard from them again. So it was the most scary, terrifying thing ever. They hurt my dog Benny. He wasn't able to walk for like 2 weeks. I had to pick him up to take him to use the bathroom. I had to spend a ton of money on the veterinary bill. And at that point, like, I just had no savings. Nothing permanent happened to my dog. It was just a terrible sprain, and he probably had severe PTSD. But at that point, I had never been so sad and like just crying, and it was terrible. Anyway, so I started doing background acting, and the rent was so expensive. I didn't want to dig into my savings. I think 6 months later, I finally got an agent. I went a little viral on TikTok. I kind of self-diagnosed myself with like ADHD, autism. I had never heard of it before. So I was like, wow, this makes sense. So I just made some videos, and I ended up meeting one of the most amazing trans people ever. And I was so scared to meet this trans person because I grew up in a very conservative Catholic household, and they were very hateful to all that stuff. Like, they watched Fox News every day and just very, very hateful people. So this trans person ended up being one of the most amazing people ever, and it actually completely changed my perspective, because in the Catholic Church you're taught to like hate these people so much and not accept them. And it turns out this trans person was 10 times kinder than any person in that church. And they did so much for my acting career. They got me an agent. They got me into professional photography. They got me into Vogue. And they were just an amazing person that I've never been able to feel like myself around. And so I've never felt more accepted. And it came from a trans person. It didn't come from a person that was going to church. It didn't come from a person that... So yeah, I ended up booking a couple big things, but a lot of my footage didn't end up being released, which just, it was so heartbreaking as an actor to like put in all the work to audition and get something, and then they don't even end up using it. So I just realized I am not the best actor. I also never ended up getting a reel or having lessons in acting. So I'm very fortunate and appreciative that I had those opportunities. It was like a dream come true. Right at the end of my, stay in LA, I ended up getting signed by a big agency, and I am still signed by that agency. We've done some auditions, but still haven't gotten that role yet. So I ended up making the hard decision to move back to a small town in Georgia where my aunt and uncle live. There's 2 traffic lights. It's the complete opposite of LA. And I've been focusing on getting my master's in computer science online. Thankfully, this place is not free, but it's so much more affordable than anywhere in LA. And I don't have to have a roommate. So I'm so thankful. The other reason I have to go back to school is because my dad is a disabled veteran, and I'm so thankful and grateful that I get free college, but I have to get that free college before I turn 26, or I think it ends. So I'm hoping that I can finish up my school this fall. I failed 2 classes, 2 semesters when I was in LA, so I've never failed a class before. I'm taking so many classes. I'm actually doing 2 master's degrees, and I'm just praying that I can find myself a decent internship. It's going to be really hard to explain to them that I was an actor and a photographer, but before that I worked in tech sales, and I had some other different kinds of jobs too. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a job, but I'm trying. I just want a little bit of stability in my life. I forgot to say, one of the craziest things about leaving LA was I ended up staying in Palm Springs for a few nights and experiencing that, and I happened to meet someone that was from the same town that I was moving to in Georgia. And as I said before, this town only has 2 traffic lights. It has maybe like 2,000 or 3,000 people. I met someone that literally works across the street from where I live. How freaking crazy is that? So I think that helped my spiritual sense to feel good, because I felt like there's just no way that wasn't a sign. Living here, even though things are cheaper, like housing and gas, everything else is just as expensive. Food, I would say, is just as expensive as LA, probably more expensive. I have to spend so much money ordering Amazon because Amazon is cheaper, and there are 0 opportunities to make money here. Absolutely 0. There are still jobs here that pay $10 an hour. It is insanity, and prices are going up. So I have applied for food stamps. I've gotten denied twice, but 3rd time's a charm. You have to work 80 hours now. I worked like 76, so I was 4 hours off. And I thankfully qualify for like free healthcare for Georgia. I don't have to pay for it, and it's really amazing in case of an emergency. I feel like you shouldn't be embarrassed to be on food stamps. Half the people in LA were on food stamps or had been on food stamps because that city was insanely expensive. But just in general, like, everything is so expensive these days, and we've been set up for failure. So I feel like there's 0 shame, and if you're eligible for it, you should be on it. But anyway, I've never felt this level of like poverty and being poor, and I think that, and going to church and seeing these people who have severe medical problems, for like 10, 20 years and just they're barely surviving, and just I've never seen so much poverty like this, and it's opened my mind so freaking much. It's humbled me so freaking much, and I'm so thankful for it. I don't think I'll ever buy designer clothes again. I don't think I'll ever just spend crazy amounts of money on anything. I'm always going to live a simple life, and I don't care if other people think I'm weird, I'm crazy, I'm poor, like it turns them off. I have never felt so much humility and being humble, and I think I needed it. I spent so much money on like alcohol and just things that were so bad for me and so stupid for me. I'm never living that life again. It's been really hard living in this small town. The most interesting thing you can do is go to church or go to Dollar General. But yeah, I just wanted to make a quick update video. If you made it this far into the video, I am gonna put a buy me a coffee link in the description. I just want to be able to afford groceries, afford cleaning supplies, some plates, and some food and toys and treats for my dogs. Please don't give me anything you can't afford to give me. I just saw a couple comments that told me I should put it there, so I might as well try it. So anyway, I hope everyone has an amazing day or night, and I'll see you again.